All right, welcome to episode 2 of Alexander and Friends. How you guys doing? Don't fucking speak too loud.
You know.
Did I catch you off guard? You want to start over?
No, I'm good. DJ?
I'll leave it at.
I'm good.
All right. So how did we do this last week? We just kind of fucking freeballed it, right?
Yeah, we just went for it.
I don't know. I was working.
No, that's true. Honestly, I don't have much of anything besides like results for the first Rampage episode, and that's about it.
I don't really have anything. Like, I couldn't figure out anything to talk about. Like, I was looking shit up. I was like, what am I going to talk about? What the hell?
So,
it's getting closer and closer to next week. And then today I'm just like, oh, fuck, I got nothing. Shit.
So AEW is going to Chicago on Friday. So people are speculating that CM Punk is going to debut on Friday. But my other brother brought it up that it'd be funny as shit if they played his music, but he didn't come out. They just played it.
Didn't they do that in WWE? I swear to God they did that with somebody and somebody else came out and
Probably.
It's when I wasn't watching wrestling, but
they did do that. They did that with CM Punk and Jeff Hardy. When they had
That's what it was.
The loser has to quit, and the next episode on Raw, Jeff Hardy's music came on, and CM Punk was dressed up as Jeff Hardy, and he trolled everybody. Like, he had the arm sleeves, the hair, the paint, his clothes.
So, I was watching UFC one night, and CM Punk was commentating, and he dropped this. I don't remember what he said, but he dropped a massive hint to all Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, I remember seeing an article about that. I can't remember what was like. I think he dropped a specific line. I don't remember what he said.
Yeah.
And then there was I don't remember what it was, like a baseball game or something. And they were dropping, they were in Chicago and they dropped a subtle hint. Like, even they're having like a good time kind of jabbing people with it. Like, oh yeah, and supposedly CM Punk's gonna be debuting on Friday. Like, really? You guys are jumping in too? But
so you're part of this?
Get the whole city of Chicago in on it.
Basically.
Well, there was a promo that Darby Allin did a few weeks back, and he dropped the best in the world thing.
Yeah.
He said there's no place to prove if you're the best in the world than Chicago, or something along those lines. And it was kind of, like a real stiff jab at the, hey, CM Punk might be debuting at Rampage on that Friday.
I think it was like, he said not even the best in the world could beat me at Rampage.
Something along those lines. He used the tagline itself, and it was definitely heavily implied, and it was some news broke, or like some news leaked, that CM Punk and Daniel Bryan were talking about coming to AEW. So they dropped that Wednesday or whatever, and then they kind of stopped poking the bear a little bit. But then I've been watching. I think it was Dynamite and on the debut of Rampage, where they played that snippet of that promo on both of those episodes, and the Road 2 videos they do on YouTube. They made sure to put that clip in there too. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I think if CM Punk doesn't show up by the end of that episode,
people are going to be really upset.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're going to riot.
How do you feel about Christian Cage being Impact champion now?
I think it's pretty damn cool. I mean, I didn't catch a whole lot of TNA or Impact whenever they first started up. That was like right around the time CM Punk was in WWE, right, and Ring of Honor and all that stuff. There's like a huge block.
He was in Ring of Honor when TNA really took off. I don't think he was in WWE yet.
Well, there's like this big, huge chunk of time where I'd fallen off of the wrestling thing, and I only started watching wrestling again about, give or take, 4 or 5 years ago again. So like all of CM Punk's run, his complete run, I wasn't watching wrestling, to the point where I've not ever seen a live CM Punk episode ever. So like that big chunk of time where he was wrestling, nothing. Only like the rerun memory clips and shit they post on YouTube or whatever. That's the only stuff that I've seen.
Yeah.
So that it's weird. So for him to debut, I don't know, man. Like, I'm excited still. I like CM Punk. I'm a fan of CM Punk. I like CM Punk.
The last thing I remember from CM Punk is him beating the shit out of Paul Heyman with a kendo stick on top of the cage.
I've never seen that. Oh, actually, to go back to what we were talking about originally, Christian Cage being Impact Champion. I'm a big fan of that. I wasn't a huge fan of TNA. Or like I didn't have the chance to really watch TNA when they first started, but like they have a channel on Twitch that is constantly playing reruns of episodes and pay-per-views, like from way back at the beginning all the way up until like here recent. And it's got some pretty cool shit in it. And like I've seen some of his old matches at TNA. Like I feel like he might have actually hit his peak in TNA. So it's kind of cool to see him with the World Championship again and like kind of bring it back home in a weird way. I think he unified the original TNA and their new Impact World Heavyweight Championship because they brought the old belt back for a while. I think Moose did. So I think he combined the two of them and retired the OG belts, which is kind of cool for him to be the one who does that, but and him being like an original.
I feel like when Jeff Hardy and Christian and Sting were all in TNA, TNA was at its peak then. Like when Samoa Joe, AJ, Christian, and all of them were there, I feel like that's when it was at its peak. Because now I watch it and I'm just like, what? This ain't the TNA I remember watching.
Yeah, I'm amazed by some of the shit that they did. Well, now Impact is, I like Impact ever since they had those first big chunk of releases. Well, like I only started paying attention to it. It was whenever the pandemic started and they WWE released like the Good Brothers and Myers and Cardona and all of them. And then that Slammiversary pay-per-view they did, and a bunch of them just popped up on the pay-per-view, and it was an actual good pay-per-view. I was like, hold on, because like it was completely new people running the whole place. Don Callis and there's the other guy. He's actually on the show a whole lot. I can't remember his fucking name, but he's like the booker or whatever. But like they actually started putting some pretty good writing, and like it was a pandemic, and they were able to pull off some good fucking story shit. I was like, okay, hold on, this is taking a little bit of a turn. Like it's definitely not TNA like the way that they used to be, but like I don't know, there's just something about whoever's taken over control over there, and they're still like in this closed in like performance center type of arena in Nashville. They're still able to kind of put together some good storylines and some good damn matches too.
I never I stopped watching TNA about almost 3 to 4 years ago. And that's when Christian left and Jeff left and everything. And just it like the storylines and the gimmicks were just like, what are you guys doing right now?
I feel like it was a WCW repeat though. It was a billionaire, funded place where there were too many fingers in the pot at one time. Because like back in WCW, like Eric Bischoff was, I guess, sort of the boss in the showrunner or whatever, but like there was like a power struggle for so long before it all just imploded. And it's kind of like the same thing happened with TNA. And they had all the rebrandings and all the new management come through and this and that. It's like, when push comes to shove,
like when they were doing Oh yeah, you still got to put out a good show and stories and stuff. But whenever Dixie Carter and Hulk Hogan were going at it for the fight for control for TNA, I really enjoyed that story because you never knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You didn't know who was going to team with who was going to turn on who. It wouldn't like the main event off, you fought for and everything. I feel like that was the peak, even though you had a bunch of old farts. Because Scott Hall was there, Nash was there, Ric Flair.
You're probably like that's like 2008, 2009, 2010 era, right?
Yes.
Probably around that time period. Which, like, looking back on some of those matches, like, there's some cool shit. Some like AJ Styles in particular, some of his matches he had there. Dude, some of his spots were fucking insane. Like comparing his WWE stuff now to his shit he was doing in TNA, totally different.
Even scratch the surface of what he did in TNA.
Doing crazy corkscrew flips out of the ring, like just some crazy high flying stuff. Just nuts.
I don't know if you ever watched them. AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. Their matches were top of the line. Like I give it 10 out of 10 stars. Their matches. They never had a bad match. Like they probably had one of the best rivalries in TNA.
Hell yeah. All right. So Kenny Omega versus Christian. Did you guys get to see that match off the Rampage?
Mm-mm.
Dude, it was good. It was so good. Christian, I mean, I can't say a bad thing about him. He's like, I don't think he's missed a fucking step since coming back. He was gone for like what, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. Comes
something
back
like
and
that. He's been gone just about as long as Edge, if not a little bit less.
I think he retired like a year or two after he had to, or whatever.
Yeah,
but not too far after.
It was like a year or two after.
Yeah. His first match back at AEW, I was like biting my nails. I was like, please don't suck. Please don't suck. Please don't suck.
Please don't get hurt.
He doesn't suck. Dude, talk about biting my nails.
Like
whenever Daniel Bryan came back, that match freaked me out. I was like, holy shit, please don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, like all these guys like Edge and Daniel Bryan and Sting, like all of them had neck injuries. And they came back to wrestle. It was like, oh God. Oh,
you're gonna die. And I'm gonna see it.
You're gonna end up in a wheelchair.
Well,
stop.
I think Daniel Bryan was the first one to kind of come back and like, I don't want to say inspire the other guys to come back, but at least like they were checking to see if like, is it a possibility I can come back? Daniel Bryan was one that really freaked me out. But then when Edge came back in a full-time aspect, I was
scared.
I was like, oh God, please don't fucking paralyze yourself. But like, he got cleared.
Fucking die.
I remember I didn't watch the whole Royal Rumble, but I watched when Edge came back and he was just throwing spears left and right. I'm like, stop. No, stop. What are you doing?
It's literally one of the moves he fucked himself up on. He's just spearing everybody.
And that spear to AJ, he ended up dislocating
it turned him inside out.
Yeah.
No.
Like he ended up dislocating his shoulder. AJ did.
Jesus.
And he was trying everything to be tossed out and nobody was listening. And he went up to Edge's like, shoulder. Toss me. Get me out of here.
Throw me out.
Like even gently. Just throw me.
Roll me over the top rope.
Right. And he ended up yeeting him over. I'm like, oh, AJ's done. AJ's done.
I didn't know he hurt himself. I had no idea he hurt himself.
If you go back and watch in slow motion, when he landed like this, like under his shoulder was underneath him.
Yeah.
and it popped his shoulder out of place. And he and everyone, like, there were some people saying, "Oh, Edge hurt AJ, Edge hurt AJ," and AJ went public. He's like, "It's not his fault. The way I spotted it, I overcorrected, I overdid it, and my body twisted, and ended up throwing my shoulder out of place."
It's fucking pro wrestling. Shit happens. Like, of all
Right.
people,
be a man, pop it back in place.
if all people, he understands that. Dude, that is the one thing I think I hate
You
the most about
dislocate-
pro wrestling is that
You do-
all of the toxic fans, like, what?
Him, just be a man and pop it back in place. I want to see dislocate your shoulder right now and pop it back in place, please.
Right, you
Live
fucking asked for it.
podcast. Live podcast.
You asked for this, DJ. No,
I'm
like,
not gonna
I don't
no
want to hear. Oh,
sympathy.
I don't want to hear. Oh shit, he actually did it.
I'll chant in the background. That was awesome.
bah, 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 bah.
Shit.
No, but by far the worst thing about pro wrestling is the toxic, shitty fans. Like, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
Oh god.
if you're ever on any kind of like wrestling page on Facebook, like, they'll like post something and then there's like hundreds of shitty comments. Just shitty marks, just making like it could be the coolest thing that you could ever imagine happen in wrestling, and you'll have 1,000+ shitty comments on it. Just dog
Could have
shitting
done
it.
this. Could have done.
Yeah.
Could have did it this way. Could have done it that way. That you do it.
I want to.
You do
You
it.
you go do it, bitch.
Exactly.
You do a freaking 1080 corkscrew off a top rope. Let's see you do it.
I want to see
Huh?
anyone do that.
I want to see someone do that.
And you know, one of the first comments is going to be, "Oh, fucking spot monkeys don't know how to actual wrestle," and it's like, what?
Yep.
Like it makes me so mad. Like that, I don't comment on anything wrestling because of all the toxic motherfuckers out there.
Don't comment on anything.
If I post something and if someone has something shitty to say about it, dude, I just nip it right in the bud. Like, shut up. Like, I don't even try to argue any kind of point.
No one asked for your opinion.
My top
Right.
comment is like I'll go through and like I'll just read some of the comments on some stuff just to like pop myself. And like, if someone's like just sounding so mad about something, it's like, why are you still watching? Why are you, if you don't like it, don't watch
Why are
it.
you mad?
Yeah,
So
that's another
me-
one of my comments. Why are you so mad?
Me,
What? You mad?
my dad rages, and it's
Oh,
hilarious
God.
to watch. He rages over Roman Reigns.
Does he hate him?
And me,
The tribal
he
chief.
hates him. He's like, "Oh, he's a pussy. He can't do nothing by himself." I'm like, what? He got to have his family. Yeah, well, yeah, it's family. Family
Well,
sticks together.
I
And me
mean-
and my brother Matthew will walk up to him throughout the day. We'll be like, "Have you acknowledged Roman Reigns, the tribal
The
chief?"
tribal chief.
He's like, "Get the fuck out of my room." And
What-
like, we'll walk away and go, "Ooh." Ah. He gets so mad. He's like, "I fucking
But yet,
hate him." I was like, "Just
if you think-
acknowledge him."
Before he was a bad guy, Dad loved Roman Reigns.
Really?
He hates bad guys. Hates them.
Well, I mean, he's buying into the wrestling. Like, that's the whole point of wrestling or whatever. But like, he liked Roman Reigns. Like, I didn't have a problem with him, but like, I definitely wasn't interested in the character Roman Reigns until he turned heel.
Oh
To
yeah.
me, Roman as a good guy, he's too stiff. But as a bad guy, he's loose, and
So I didn't.
it feels
read
like
it.
he's being himself.
Exactly. It like when he was a good guy for all the time, like, you knew he just wanted to be a piece of shit on camera. Like, you knew that he wanted to
Yes.
just show him his real stuff. It's like he didn't understand how to be a good guy or something. But it's like,
He didn't-
whenever you portray yourself naturally, it's more convincing on camera. He needed to
So-
be
and
a
you
heel for
always-
so
and you
long.
always end up being the bad guy so long. Like when
That's why he was so
part
good
of
in the Shield. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
They were bad guys.
It
Like-
worked.
So I don't know if it was.
He hates Seth Rollins. I was like, how can you hate the Messiah?
I like the Messiah character. The shit he's been doing the past couple of weeks, I've seen like little clips of him like laughing weirdly. It's like, I don't understand what you guys are going for with this one. You've got my attention.
You got my attention. But
I don't know where this is
worry.
going.
One thing I'm really happy about, and to me, it's about time it's happening. Cesaro finally getting the push he fucking deserves.
If it was going to
'Cause he's
take
a
any
big boy
longer, he was going to
hitter.
need to just quit and go somewhere else.
Yes.
But he's so good. Not the best on the
So
mic,
good.
but he's still good on the mic. But like one of my favorite things he's been a part of was the bar. Him and Sheamus. And then they just
Oh yeah.
they didn't even like explain anything. Like they just put them on different brands or just were suddenly not a tag team anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
there was no fallout, there was no nothing. Like, and they were such a
was no-
staple to the
I
program.
think they
I
would have
love their
made a shit ton
catchphrase.
of money.
Yeah.
We are the bar.
There is no bar. We are the bar.
It was good. It was catchy, and like Sheamus, like he
Yeah.
was able to show some character. It's like I went and saw Raw live a few years back, and like one of their entrance was the coolest shit to see live. Like that big light that shines on them, and like it was so cool. And then just out of nowhere, they're just not a thing.
They
Didn't
just
even
stopped.
talk about it.
So,
They're just not a
fun-
thing.
so fun fact about Sheamus. You remember when DX got back together and
Which time?
Spirit Squad?
I was not watching.
Well, I was watching reruns of it, and Shawn Michaels and Triple H, they bought tickets, and they were being escorted out. And I looked at one of the security guards. I was like, that motherfucker looks familiar. And he turned his head and looked back, and it was Sheamus. Sheamus
Okay.
was a security guard at one point, and he escorted them out. I was like, hold on, time out. Whoa, wait, hold on. What the fuck?
This is before he was like a character.
Before he was a WWE wrestler.
There's been a few of those cool ones, like MJF being a security guard whenever Samoa Joe was walking out. He was like walking to the ring or whatever for one of the NXT Takeover pay-per-view matches, and he apparently got too close to Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe checked him into a wall. And this is before MJF got like popular and shit. Just checked him into a wall and kept walking.
Rule number 1, don't fuck with Joe. Rule number 2, Joe will kill you.
Joe will choke you. Let's
I'd be
see
scared
here.
to
Number
have
3.
him wrapped up.
Joe is daddy.
Joe is daddy.
Joe is daddy.
All right, let's wrap this up because we're going on an hour already for the recording. Let's go through Rampage.
Really?
Yeah. We have Kenny Omega versus Christian. Christian wins. Miro versus Fuego del Sol. Have you guys been keeping up with Fuego and all this stuff on Sammy's vlog and stuff? The basic idea is that he's been like enhancement talent for like over a year since the pandemic started. And like you'll see like all these enhancement talents getting contracts and stuff like that. But no matter how over Fuego was on the vlogs, like there's legitimate Fuego chants in the crowds when Fuego's not even on camera. Like he was that over. So he versed Miro on Rampage. And if he won, he would not only get the title, but he would also get a contract. So the whole match played out like he was about to win or whatever. The whole time it's like, oh, he's so close. A bunch of false finishes. And then eventually Miro gets him and just totally squashes him into the mat and pins him. So it's like, oh no, Fuego doesn't get a contract or the title. Then Sammy Guevara comes out, which is his best friend, and tells him, hey, just so you know, and hands him a contract. You're still all elite. boom, Fuego gets signs. Big feel good moment.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was pretty stoked about that. And Britt Baker versus Red Velvets, really good match. Britt retains, and we have the re-debut of what's her name? Jamie Hayter.
I don't know. What is her name?
Jamie Hayter was a I don't think she was ever technically signed, but whenever Dynamite was starting to come on TV, she was either on Dark or on the actual programming for a little bit here and there. And then whenever the pandemic hit, she's from the UK, so she was, basically couldn't travel or whatever. So she just made her return back to Dynamite. And then
that's awesome.
That ends Rampage, first episode. All right, any final thoughts for you guys?
No.
Yeah. I guess we could save the Horizon talk for whenever Wes gets on here, because he'll have a bunch to say about it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With I don't know if this is going to let us start a new meeting, so let's go ahead and sign off for right now. So that's episode 2, and basically nothing but wrestling talk. Dig it.
Come on.
All right, stick around. I'm going to send you guys a new invite and see if it lets me do another meeting, okay?
What?
All right. I was waiting for you to say
right.
Come on, because we did.
I think he didn't. I don't know if he was part of the Come On team whenever we started.
No,
he
wasn't.
It was just the 3 of us, and then Nick came in.
The OGs.
The OG, come on. Literally all of our streams were just 90% of us going, come on, after we kill somebody.
Yo.
Oh my god.
Yo.
So stupid. All right, I'm gonna
come on.
Come on. Oh damn, we got killed. We got murdered on that one. Come on.
Hackers.
Fucking hackers. Come on. All right. Hold on.